Welcome to the channel, everybody. You know what time it is. It's that time again where we turn down the lights, get real quiet, and dive headfirst into the deep end of Spooky Town. And let me tell you, the water's fine. Today we're talking about places so haunted, so rife with spooky energy, that even I get the chills just thinking about them. So get comfortable, grab your skepticism or your comfort blanket, I don't judge, and let's get into it. Now picture this. It's the late 1800s and you're Sarah Winchester, heiress to the Winchester rifle fortune. Tragedies followed you your whole life and you're convinced the spirits of those killed by your family's invention are out to get you. What do? If you answered, build a giant, confusing house to trap them, then congratulations, you're thinking like Sarah Winchester. This place is nuts. Doors that open to walls, staircases that lead nowhere, windows overlooking other rooms. It's like an M.C. Escher painting come to life. And the ghosts? Oh, they're there. Visitors and caretakers have reported disembodied footsteps, doors slamming shut on their own, and even full-on ghostly apparitions. Some say Sarah designed the house this way to confuse the spirits, to keep them from finding her. Others say it was the spirits themselves guiding her hand as she built. Whatever the reason, one thing's for sure, this place is a paranormal pressure cooker. Next up, we're hopping across the pond to jolly old England, and to a place that's about as synonymous with hauntings as it gets, the Tower of London. This place has seen it all, folks. Imprisonment, torture, executions, you name it, it's happened here. So it's no surprise that the place is practically swimming in restless spirits. We're talking kings, queens and commoners alike, all stuck here for, well, who knows how long. Probably for eternity, if we're being honest. But hey, at least the afterlife has prime real estate, right? There's Anne Boleyn, the ill-fated queen beheaded by her husband Henry VIII, who's been spotted wandering the Tower Green. And then there are the princes in the tower, two young boys who disappeared mysteriously in the 15th century, rumoured to have been murdered by their own uncle. Some say their childish laughter can still be heard echoing through the halls. Chapter 3. The Bell Witch, Southern Hospitality with a Side of Terror. Now let's head down south to Adams, Tennessee. Because who doesn't love a good old-fashioned Southern ghost story, right? This one's about the Bell family, who in the early 1800s had the misfortune of being targeted by an entity known as the Bell Witch. This wasn't your average run-of-the-mill spectre, though. Oh no, this thing was malicious. We're talking physical assaults, disembodied voices, whispering threats, and even the alleged poisoning of the family patriarch, John Bell. Imagine sitting down to dinner, and an unseen force starts flinging plates and cutlery. That's the Bell Witch for you. It's enough to make you want to stick to sweet tea and sunshine, you know what I mean? Chapter 4. The Amityville Horror. Just a regular family home, if your family's into demons. All right, let's move on to a story that needs no introduction. The Amityville Horror. If you don't know this one, well, I'm honestly a little impressed. This house in Long Island, New York, became infamous in the 1970s after the Lutz family, who moved in after a gruesome mass murder, reported experiencing some seriously messed up stuff. We're talking cold spots, foul odours, swarms of flies in the dead of winter, the works. George Lutz, the father, even claimed to have woken up at 3:15 a.m. every morning, the same time the murders took place. Coincidence, maybe, but also maybe not. The sheer intensity of the paranormal activity reported in that house was enough to make even the most hardened skeptics wonder if something truly sinister was at play. Chapter 5. The Myrtles Plantation, where history and hauntings collide. Last, but certainly not least, we're heading to the Myrtles Plantation in Louisiana. This grand old mansion has a history as long and winding as the Spanish moss that drapes its branches. And trust me, it's just as eerie. It's said to be haunted by at least a dozen different spirits, each with their own tragic tale to tell. There's Chloe, a slave who supposedly poisoned the mistress of the house and her children, and who now roams the plantation in a green turban. And then there's William Winter, a lawyer who was shot on the porch and stumbled inside to die, leaving a bloodstain that supposedly reappears no matter how many times it's scrubbed away. Chapter 6. The Myrtles Plantation, where history and hauntings collide. Last, but certainly not least, we're heading to the Myrtles Plantation in Louisiana. This grand old mansion has a history as long and winding as the Spanish moss that drapes its branches. And trust me, it's just as eerie. It's said to be haunted by at least a dozen different spirits, each with their own tragic tale to tell. There's Chloe, a slave who supposedly poisoned the mistress of the house and her children, and who now roams the plantation in a green turban. And then there's William Winter, a lawyer who was shot on the porch and stumbled inside to die, leaving a bloodstain that supposedly reappears no matter how many times it's scrubbed away. Outro, sleep tight, if you can. Well, there you have it, folks. 5 terrifying tales of haunted places that are sure to give you goosebumps. Whether you believe in ghosts or you're just in it for the thrills, there's no denying the power of these stories. They tap into something primal, something that makes us question the darkness and wonder what might be lurking just beyond our sight. So the next time you find yourself in an old house or a darkened graveyard, just remember, you never know who or what might be watching or waiting.